Hello and welcome to another edition of For the Record. I'm Sean Murphy, along with the fine folks from the Girl Scouts here today, and you've heard of them, you've tasted their cookies, and now we'll meet a couple of people from their organization. Up in the first segment, Sarah Kaliva. She's the Fund Development of Product Sales, and it is her first time on the show. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Is that the proper title?
Fund Development and Product Sales
And
Associate.
Product Sales.
It's a long one.
Tell me about the Girl Scouts.
Well, the Girl Scouts is a wonderful organization. We have been around since 1912. Started in Savannah, Georgia, so it's a little warmer down there than New London. And it has been great and thriving up until this date. The Girl Scouts of Rhode Island was our former name. We're now Girl Scouts of Southeastern New England. All
encompassing, so now it's a multi-state jurisdiction, as it
so
were?
Originally, I believe it started strictly in Rhode Island, and we have since added on 13 service units within Massachusetts, and we also provide services to Pawcatuck, Connecticut.
And what's the reason for the consolidation? Is it just a sign of the times? It just makes sense to do it?
I think so.
Financially, maybe?
I would say financially. I think it was throughout, like nationally, throughout Girl Scouts of the U.S., we had looked at numbers and looked at membership and participation and realized that to better serve the girls within each council, it was best to kind of look at, you know, who's around and not just focusing for us on Rhode Island and reaching out to part of Massachusetts and the Connecticut Council. So,
when you go back to the beginning, you know, you look so young to be discussing way back in the day. About, but what was the reason? What was the coming together to form the Girl Scouts in the first place?
Well, I think that the original founder, Juliet Daisy Gordon Lowe, who, like I said, started in Savannah, Georgia, she saw a need for creating girls of courage, confidence, and character, allowing them to thrive in all aspects of womanhood, adulthood, and becoming well-rounded citizens. And so she decided to create an organization that simply allowed girls to thrive and to be the best that they can be versus, you know, just the simple, not that being a homemaker isn't a job within itself, but the opportunity to expand and expound beyond that, to learn camping skills, to learn leadership skills, to learn how to have a conversation with your fellow man and know that, you know, your ideas were worthy. And I think that was a lot of her want from Girl Scouts, and I think it really has gone above and beyond her original dreams. I hope that she's happy with what we're doing. So.
I think she must be, especially for something to survive an organization like this that's been around for so long. I would imagine it has to evolve, right?
Definitely.
It has to evolve and expand in some cases, and just you change with the times, and obviously things are very different now than they were back then.
Oh, of course. I mean, think about the last 100 years, or over 100 years now, with us starting in 1912. They didn't have computers or cell phones or just, you know, an iPad that you have to fight for a child's attention from. And so we definitely are constantly looking for new ways to entice girls, to get them to want to step away from what their friends are doing. Not every kid after a certain age range is going to be really excited about helping their community, or, you know, that 12 to 15 age range is tough to deal with.
They're finding themselves a little bit more, and they're very self-conscious at that age.
Yes, 100%. And so I think with Girl Scouting, you're teaching girls to accept their uniqueness and to, you know, just be happy with who you are and be able to experience those ins and outs of childhood with people who are just like you.
Right. I think the biggest thing about that is if you're with your peers, they understand more than, you know, grown-ups, I guess, right?
Yeah,
so,
grown-ups don't know anything.
No, but you know everything. And the other thing that you mentioned, you know, in this day and age, it's tough. You've got more to compete with to get girls to be a part of the organization because there's so much more going on in the world now, right?
Definitely. I think, you know, I think of myself in 7th grade, and I had just left Girl Scouting, and part of that was because I had track and I had dance and I had gymnastics and I had music and I had all of these different entities that I felt like were pulling me away from what I had been doing since I was 5 years old. My mom was my troop leader. And probably my most vivid childhood memories are anything Girl Scout related. And so I think, you know, we're fighting with so much more than what I had to pick and choose from those years ago. And
how early can you start? Does brownies fall under the umbrella of Girl Scouts?
So it starts with daisies.
Okay. That's even younger.
Yep, that's even younger. So those are kindergarten, first grade. And we go all the way to 18 years old, which is the ambassador program. And so, you know, if you think about it, the life of a child from K through 12, there's a lot of learning, and there's a lot of growth, and there's a lot of cognitive change. And so for those girls who are going to their ambassador level and receiving their Gold Award, which is the highest award that Girl Scouting offers, similar to Eagle Scouts, if you're more familiar with Boy Scouting.
Exactly. That is the parallel to it, right?
Yeah. I would say so. And I mean, that's a 90-hour take-action community project. They are, and they're in their, you know, sophomore to senior year of high school. So that's a lot of commitment. And I think that, you know, it's a large span of time for a girl to commit to, but the girls,
especially with boys in the you know, that exists, you know, that they may have discovered along the way, right? Plus, do you have to fight like a stigma of the coolness factor, you know, Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, because there's so many other things that might, you know, kids are very image conscious.
I would agree. They are very image conscious, especially today with social media and, you know, with how focused we are on how media itself portrays people and the image you're supposed to fall under. And I think that could be part of it. That could be part of why, you know, there are more girls joining as daisies than there are as staying through ambassadors. But I really do think that Girl Scouting pushes through that stigma and really tries to teach girls that, you know what, you're doing something positive. You're doing something good for your community, good for yourself, good for your future. I believe that there are a lot of women in high public service roles and CEO roles who have been Girl Scouts themselves, and part of that they culminate to having been a Girl Scout in their childhood.
I think if you could put that at some point in your life on your resume, that's a good thing, right?
Oh, 100%. I still put it on my resume, obviously depending on what I'm putting my resume towards, but to say that you're a Girl Scout, everybody knows what that is, and everybody they just get a good feeling from it. You think that someone's a good person by being a Girl Scout.
Right, and they've stuck with it, and they you know, have organizational skills and the ability to learn and work with a group. I guess there's a lot, just by saying that you were in the Girl Scouts, a potential employer maybe can look at that and go, well, this might be the kind of person that I want on my team.
Yeah, you learn a whole bunch, and it's, of course, what you take out of it as a girl, and the troop that you're under or the people that you're experiencing Girl Scouting with, but you learn so much, and you can take it from childhood through adulthood.
If a Girl Scout is staying with it most of the way, if they get, I would imagine that there's maybe a certain age or a certain way, if they get through that certain time period, they're probably going to stick with it for a little while.
I would think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if we have really looked into that type of information yet, but I think that there has to be some sort of breaking point where you say, oh, you made it over the hump of like, you know, adolescence, and you're still here. And a lot of the girls who go through Gold Award and end up going, you know, graduating high school as a Girl Scout, they become lifetime members. And so they're a Girl Scout for life, and that's a fabulous thing.
Tell me what the Girl Scouts are doing these days, in case people might have an idea in their head. Well, they go camping and they sell Girl Scout cookies, which we will get into. But what are they doing these days that people might not be aware of?
A whole bunch. I mean, obviously, cookies are a big selling point of Girl Scouts. That's what everyone knows. But we're doing so much more than that. We're focusing on, you know, leadership skills. We're focusing on STEAM, so science, technologies, engineering, the arts, and math. We're focusing on really looking towards the future versus staying in the past. And I think some people forget that. They think of Girl Scouting as cookies and camping, and that's it. And while those are two very strong entities within Girl Scouting, there's so much more. You know, we're taking girls to the Boston Museum of Science. We're taking girls to learn how to ride a horse. We're taking girls to go to Roger Williams University and do an engineering course and learn how to do a robotics, like CAD kind of program. And these are things that when I was a Girl Scout as a kid, they might not even have existed. So we're doing a lot in terms of focusing on young women in technology and engineering and all of those fields that I think as a country we're trying to push young girls into believing they can be a part of it.
And you're keeping up with the times because those are the careers that are out there now.
Totally, yeah.
Tell me about your role as fund development of product sales. What is that?
So fund development is basically our fundraising aspect of Girl Scouts of Southeastern New England. That's where we reach out to local corporations, organizations, civic groups, tell them about what we're doing and what we're hoping to do, and see if they're willing to partner or donate or whatever they feel is up their alley in terms of helping us. And product sales would be the cookie piece and the fall product sale where we do the magazines and nuts and candy, which is also delicious.
You don't hear that much about those as much as the cookies.
It's a smaller sale, and that's part of the reason is because most girls are joining Girl Scouting at the beginning of the school year. Our fall product sale typically runs beginning in September, October, and going into December once everything is said and done. And I think that part of the reason it's not as popular as cookies is because that's when girls are just signing on, and it's a lot to just sign on as something and then go and bother your grandma for, you know, to buy a bunch of chocolate-covered raisins, which are my favorite, and, you know, get a magazine subscription. So,
you talk about fund development. You have one of your big fundraisers is coming up. It's a golf tournament, right?
Yes. So we have a golf tournament. It's the inaugural golf tournament that we've had of this kind. It's going to be at Metacomet, which is in East Providence in Rhode Island. It's a great course, and it will be June 29th. It's a Monday. So there are opportunities to have a foursome, sponsorship opportunities, simply going to dinner if that's works better for someone's schedule. But I think it'll be a lot of fun. People like to golf. June's a beautiful month to do so. It's not too hot, not too cold. So
especially being cooped up all winter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's probably like, is that one of your first big fundraising opportunities of the year?
So we actually just held our Leading Women Awards, which was in April, and that was, again, the first of its kind for us, and that was a big fundraiser. We honored 5 women throughout different fields in Rhode Island. So we had Governor Gina Raimondo, Lori White, she's the president of the Providence Chamber of Commerce. We also had our Lifetime Volunteer Achievement Award winner, Betty Cugini. She's a Westerly native, and this will be her 50th year volunteering through Girl Scouting, which is amazing.
Yeah.
She lives and breathes it and is the nicest woman. And so it was a fundraising opportunity, but we also got to honor people who really believe in what we do. And so now with the golf tournament coming up, that's a totally different type of person that we're, you know, gearing towards and trying to get involved with what we do. And I think it's important in fundraising to have something fun so people aren't feeling like they're being pushed towards something, but they're also learning a lot about the organization. Let's
give people the website so people can go and learn about that golf tournament plus all the other things you have coming up.
Okay, so the website is www.gssne.org, and if you go on our homepage, you'll find links to, you know, whether it's the golf tournament, information about our Leading Women Awards, or any other upcoming events that we will have.
All right, Sarah Kaliva.
Got it.
She is the fund development of product sales of Girl Scouts, and it's been a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
We will take a short break and come right back. I'm Sean Murphy. This is For the Record. Stay with us. Welcome back to For the Record. I'm Sean Murphy. We are chatting with the fine folks from the Girl Scouts of Southeastern New England, and I'm here with Jennifer Thomas. She does marketing and communications. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Pretty good segment there with Sarah in the first segment.
Excellent.
A lot
Hard
to get
to follow up to that.
We didn't touch much on the cookies, so we got a lot of stuff to get into. But since everybody thinks of Girl Scouts, they think of cookies. This folder is not a box of Thin Mints, even though you might think it is. Where are my cookies, first of all? I know they're coming. I'm kidding. But welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Why are Girl Scout cookies so delicious? Why are they so popular?
They are so popular because they're only here for a limited time. Girl Scouts sell cookies from about December through March. So that's really when customers can order them, so they're in high demand. And so that's why they're popular. They've been around for so long. They come in so many varieties.
Some new stuff, new flavors?
Obviously the Thin Mints are everyone's favorites, but we also have peanut butter patties.
Tag-alongs.
Yep,
I can go through the whole list with you on those. Don't mess around with me on that. And the Girl Scouts are, and by the way, I understand that there's that certain time of year, but there are other times of the year you can, there's a stockpile and you can always get them if you need them, right?
Yes, yes, absolutely. So especially this year with our cookie sale, the sales were down a little bit just because of the snowy winter.
Yeah,
and it was tough for the girls to get out, exactly, and for the customers too to get out. So we do have two retail locations where they are available for sale, one at our headquarters in Warwick and then at our camp at Camp Hoffman in West Greenwich, Rhode Island.
Girl Scouts, we talked in the first segment about, staying up with the times. There's actually an app to even find Girl Scout cookies, believe it or not. How about that?
Yeah,
huh?
yeah, it's perfect. You just type in your zip code and it comes up with the booth sales that are closest to you. So
right, so you can swing by a supermarket, and there might be a table out there, so when you've got the urge, and who doesn't, then you can find them. So an example of the Girl Scouts keeping up with the times and technology, you know what I mean?
Yes.
But there's so much more about the Girl Scouts, all the things that we talked about in the first segment about advancing in life, there's summer camps, all kinds of things going on. What are some areas that you want to hit for the most part?
Yeah, so definitely one way that we're keeping up with the times is we have developed a new Girl Leadership Experience Center. So that's located in our headquarters in Warwick, Rhode Island. It's in the lower level, and it's 10,000 square feet of space just for the girls.
Wow.
Right now it's a blank space, and that's because we are in the midst of a fundraising campaign to outfit it with technology and all the things that the girls need, whether it be furniture, comfortable couches for them to hang out, laptops, photography equipment, anything that they want, that will be their space to hang out in.
Well, all these things that they're utilizing there go towards them achieving goals, patches, whatever it is they're doing, rank, whatever.
Yep, yeah, absolutely. So the girls can come in, they can use the center. Our vision is that it's just a girl-led hub of activities, so it's always constantly filled. Girls can come in individually or with their troops to use it.
And when is this going to be up and running? What's the goal?
So our goal is to have all the money raised by October of this year.
Wow.
We actually have a wonderful opportunity from the generous supporters at the Champlain Foundations, where they are going to match gifts up to $100,000 that we raise between now and October.
Wow.
So that's our goal right now.
What are some other ways for raising funds for this?
So raising funds, as Sarah mentioned in the last segment, we had the Leading Women Awards, and then we also have a golf tournament coming up. So those are two perfect ways. Any donations that people make, their donations get doubled.
How's corporate been as far as their willingness to be involved, whether financially or just in some other way?
Yeah, so GSUSA is the umbrella organization of the whole entire country, and they've been great. They provide resources as far as marketing materials for us, so they've been very helpful.
For you, for marketing and communications, obviously you're the de facto PR person to come on these shows, but what are some of your day-to-day duties?
Yeah, so I am responsible for all of our electronic publications, our social media. So we have a Facebook page, Twitter, and Instagram account. We're definitely trying to reach girls where
That's
they
where
are.
they are. They're on social media. You have to be on social media.
Exactly. That's what we're definitely figuring out. So I'm responsible for all of the content on that. We also send out monthly e-newsletters and some more news that we mail. All of the PR. We have a great group of volunteers in each service unit, in each community. who help with PR in their areas, but then overall the whole council's public relations effort.
I actually help with the PR for Girl Scouts because I will take a picture of my tag-alongs and then post it on Instagram. You know, with the got to have the hashtag in there so that other people will know. So I'm helping you out. I mean, I'm eating them, but I'm also
we appreciate that. Thank you.
Summer camps, since we're coming into that time of the year.
Yes, yeah. So summer camp, we have 3-day camps available for girls and 1 overnight camp. They're located throughout southeastern New England. We have 1 in Swansea, Massachusetts, 1 in West Kingston, and 1 in Coventry, I believe. And they are available for girls grades K through 12. And so it's great. Girls can sign up for 1 session at a time, or they can do multiple sessions. At day camp, we have each camp offers swimming lessons. So one of our camps has an in-ground Olympic-sized swimming pool, which is a highlight.
I like the Olympic-sized pools.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We also have a feature that we added a few years ago. We have a mobile rock wall, which travels around the different camps, and girls love it. It's great to see them just try to set that goal for themselves, and the feeling of pride they get when they reach the top is really exciting.
We talked a lot about Girl Scouts and their movement up, you know, through the organization, but how about the adult aspect of it as far as volunteerism, being, is it troop masters or scout masters, or how does that work?
Yep, so troop leaders, we currently have 2,600 troop or adult volunteers who help us run our programs, and they are so dedicated. We would not be in existence without them. And so when they come on board, they go through an online and face-to-face training program. And then once they get settled into their role, whether it be as a troop leader or an assistant troop leader or just an administrative aspect, we have some people, as I mentioned, help with the PR or the cookie sales, helping with that aspect of it. They have a really great support system, a mentorship program from the existing and older volunteers will help them out.
Will a Girl Scout, are there situations where they'll go through the ranks and then end up being a leader at some point?
Yep, absolutely. We actually had a girl who we interviewed for a video that we did. Her name is Amelia, and she got her Gold Award last year, and now is away at college in Vermont, and she is a leader up in Vermont.
Good
so
for her.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so she really stayed in not only through the whole time as a scout, but then also. Are you always looking for volunteers?
Absolutely.
And really any skill that they may have can somehow be utilized, I would imagine, right?
Yes. Yeah, whether it be, you know, they can volunteer, it can be a one-time program, or if they have more time to commit, as I said, they can be a troop leader for the whole year. So it's really up to them. Yeah.
Is there any affiliation at all between Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, aside from the name? Are there any things any events where they'll be mutually involved with or anything like that, or are they completely separate?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are actually, we've been meeting with the leadership of the Boy Scouts. I think it's the Narragansett Council in Rhode Island, just to coordinate. I think at this, as Sarah mentioned, you know, sometimes there's that middle school age where I think both girls and boys kind of, you know, see other things and they might drop out of Scouts. And so with that decreased enrollment in Scouting, we've realized that the Boy Scouts are facing the same thing we are. And so reaching out to them and, you know, doing combined recruitment events, I think is really beneficial.
And like we talked about before, it's that perception, you know, you have to stay on the cutting edge of being cool so that they'll want to stay in it, because there are so many other things that can grab a kid's attention, Boy Scout or Girl Scout, right?
Exactly. I think the really good thing about Girl Scouts is that it really, it encaptures everything. And so whether you're interested in dance or art or science or technology or whatever it is, with Girl Scouts, you can really explore your interests, and you don't have to commit to one thing. You can really explore everything that you're interested in.
You know, and one thing in my notes here, scholarship opportunities, you have the opportunity to use Girl Scouts to maybe, you know, if you're thinking about school, you know, these kind of opportunities are there.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have our annual Gold Award ceremony coming up. And at that event this year, we will be distributing our 4th annual Young Woman of Distinction scholarships. And so that is the top 3 Gold Award projects. We have a committee that picks them, and so they're just the 3 projects that stand out from the rest. And those girls, 2 runners-up, will each receive a $500 scholarship, and then the top winner will receive a $1,000 scholarship for college.
Very nice.
Yes.
All right, let's take one more break and come right back. I'm Sean Murphy. This is For the Record. Stay right there. So we are back, and one of the things we want to mention is because it's Girl Scouts of Southeastern New England, where people are watching today from Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Connecticut, and you do creep into Connecticut a little bit.
We do, yes. So we serve Pawcatuck, Connecticut, and all of Rhode Island, and then 13 communities in southeastern Massachusetts.
But it's an interesting divide how they did it. Just get one little town in Connecticut and then all of Rhode Island and a little bit of Massachusetts. How do they come up with the mapping?
Yeah, so a few years ago there was a whole realignment with all of GSUSA, and they just looked at what made the most sense geographically, and as Sarah mentioned earlier, how many girls were in each community. And I think we've actually had a phone call from the Girl Scouts of Connecticut asking us if they could take Pawcatuck back from us, but we like our folks in Pawcatuck.
So there's a turf war going
exactly,
on here now,
there is, yeah.
All right, well, let's one more time give out the website. What's on the website, by the way, for people to see and do?
Yeah, so our website has everything. Information for parents to find out about summer camp. As Sarah mentioned, information about all our upcoming events, the golf tournament. We have a link up there. We did a really great video for the Leading Woman Awards. It's on YouTube. So our website address is www.gssne.org.
Jennifer Thomas does marketing and communications and also eats an occasional cookie, I would imagine, too, because we all love them so much. And this is not Thin Mints, by the way. Thanks for being on the show today.
Thank you.
We learned a lot.
Thank you.
Speaking of YouTube, you can see this show and many others on our YouTube site. Till next time, I'm Sean Murphy. This is For the Record. Take care.